Yo, what's up, Facebook, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcast needs from? It's your boy back again on this beautiful Wednesday night. Each and every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, I will be reporting live for you guys. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the Titletown TV YouTube channel as well as Facebook and various social media platforms. Tonight we'll be talking about my 2 round NFL mock draft. I've been providing you guys. I provided you guys last week with my first round mock draft. I'm going to continue to do that each and every week. Changing my mock draft as things unfold with pro days, combines, different all star games like the East West Side game, or the Senior Bowl game the last past week. Uh, and injuries, of course, and rises and fallers. So we'll see, uh, hear about what the GM think. Player movements, like free agency and all that. And so let's get into it. Today, my mock draft will be provided by um, the the Draft Network, Draft Machine, and of course, with the first overall pick, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Evan Neal, left tackle from Alabama. Big kid, about 6'7", 200, 350 pounds. Um, a great blocker. I think he only gave up one sack this past season. Helped Alabama Crimson Tide reach the national championship, where he eventually fell to the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm not getting into that. I know my Alabama fans here in my own town, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, will definitely have some things to say about that. But Aiden Hutchinson, he isn't my Aiden Hutchinson. Evan Neal isn't my best player on board as of right now. He's like 3 or 4 behind, Aiden Hudson and Kayvon Thibodeau. Him and Kyle Hamilton are like 3A, 3B for me. But this is Jacksonville's biggest need. So this isn't a reach necessarily for them. But they definitely don't need a pass rusher right now. They do have a great one. And Josh Allen doing this thing over there on the Jacksonville defense. But yeah, Evan Neal is the selection. With my number 2 overall pick, I have the Detroit Lions selecting hometown kid Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end out of Michigan. Caught on, this past season, had 14 sacks, was a Heisman finalist. Uh, Took Michigan very far this season. Was able to beat Ohio State. Held them, had a few sacks that game. Yeah, man, just was a complete baller this past season. Him and David Ojabo, another Michigan kid, that will be drafted today, as well as their teammate Daxton Hill. Had the defense going, man. Limited a lot of teams to limited points. But yeah, man, he's my number 1 overall player, and seeing him go to the Detroit Lions would definitely be a treat to see. A local kid out of Michigan going to Detroit Lions would definitely put some butts in the seats. Um, but yeah, with my 3rd overall pick, I have the Houston Texans selecting Kayvon Thibodeau, edge rusher out of Oregon. Um, Kind of a tweener, smaller guy than Aiden, more of a more of a guy who can probably stand up and rush. Um, May remind some people of like Whitney Merciless, an old Texas pass rusher. Um, there, can place him in. Probably can stand up, dropping coverage. We'll see what he can do. He has some things to say about Alabama we don't get into tonight. But I guess he made the right choice for him. He is a top 3 pick in my eyes this year. I'm not sure where he will probably stand this year with guys like Will Anderson, Dallas Turner, and Drew Sanders playing for Bama this year. So he made the right choice by going to Bama. I mean, going to Oregon. So hey, we'll see how his career projects in a few years. Um, the 4th overall pick, I have the New York Jets selecting Akeem Iguanu, offensive tackle out of North Carolina State. A guy who's had played guard and tackle will probably play right tackle starting out for the New York Jets because right now they have big boy Makai Beckton and also Elijah Vera Tucker at guard. So having 2 bookend tackle will definitely protect Zach Wilson, that 2nd overall pick from last season. Um, of course, I could have went with guy like Kyle Hamilton, a guy I have higher on my board than Akeem, but they have a bigger need offensive tackle. I know they're losing um, Marcus May. He's been a little frustrated with how the team been going, and of course he's a free agent next season. So if he doesn't come back, then of course they probably could use a guy like Kyle Hamilton. But as of right now, Akeem Aquanu is my pick for them. Um, like in last week, I did choose Kyle Hamilton. It was an easy pick for me, but I think Akeem Aquanu is definitely a better fit for them, and will definitely make the offense start. You know what I'm saying? Moving in the right direction. You got your franchise quarterback. You getting some receivers there with Corey Davis. You drafted Elijah Moore in the second round. Uh, like I mentioned, Elijah Vera Tucker, who's been solid for them. So let's keep adding to the offensive line, and you know what I'm saying, get things going, things start in the trenches. With the fifth overall pick, I have the um, New York Giants selecting offensive tackle from Mississippi State, Charles Cross. Um, with them selecting Charles Cross, it was kind of a pick I wanted to go later behind them in with Carolina, but it going on, falling, going earlier than I projected. So Charles Cross is the pick right here for the Giants. He might even be a better scheme fit. Him and Andrew Thomas, another set of bookend tackles up there in New York. So and can protect Daniel Jones. A lot of people are asking for him to be traded, released, just find a new replacement for him in general. I think you keep protecting him, keep adding to the receiver core, get Saquon going. He might can prove that he was worth that top 10 selection. With number six pick, I have my first quarterback off the board. There's no tackle in this spot. The pick right now. Iguanu's gone. Neal's gone. Cross is gone. I wanted to get someone to protect their quarterback and Sam Darnold, or whoever's playing quarterback for them next year, whether this be Deshaun Watson and whoever else. But yeah, I think they go ahead and draft the quarterback of the future, and just figure it out from there. They have two good receivers. Um, and DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. They still have McCaffrey. Even behind them, they have Chuba Herbert, one of the guys who I like last year, one of the better running backs coming into last year's draft, who fell late, but gave them valuable yards when McCaffrey was out. But yeah, man, Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh, my top quarterback on the board, goes number six to the Carolina Panthers. But again, another one of those Heisman candidates this past season. Um, he's probably most famous for his fake slide run for a touchdown from this past season. Uh, it's slick, athletic, but his arm is very talented. Um, well, yeah, man, Kenny Pickett is the real deal, Holyfield. I think he's probably the most pro-ready quarterback in this draft. So yeah, man. At number seven, I have the New York Giants back on the board. I think they're gonna double dip on the offensive line, like I mentioned before, protect um, Daniel Jones as well as get Saquon Barkley back running. What I'm saying, through bigger holes, and what I'm saying, showing off his elite ability at running back. But yeah, man, I have them going with Tyler Linderbaum, center out of Iowa. Um, a guy who has played against some of the better talent in college football in the Big Ten. Was a state wrestler in high school. Wrestled against Tristan Wirfs, the tackle out of um, Tampa Bay, from Tampa Bay. Yeah, man, great kid. Um, Big physical kid who's going to dominate the line of scrimmage. Make sure him and Daniel Jones should have a great relationship. Um, yeah, man, he just a dog, man, on the offensive line. At number eight, I have the Atlanta Falcons selecting Derek Stingley Jr. out of LSU. Um, Derek Stingley is one of the best corners in the draft. He's not my favorite corner, but he just has so much upside. We've seen what he could do back a couple of years ago with on the LSU national championship team as a freshman. And he had a solid season 2020, and then this past season he got hurt. Set out the rest of the season. I can't wait to see his bright future. Hopefully, he brings his game from LSU, his freshman season of LSU um, to the Georgia Dome, the Mercedes-Benz Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the Falcons. Him and AJ Terrell will be a great one-two punch at cornerback. They do have needs at edge rusher. Um, they can address it later in the draft, but getting a corner like Derek Stingley and pairing him with AJ Terrell is too hard to pass up. Number nine, um, normally I would go with a quarterback for the Denver Broncos, but with this two-round mock draft, I in this scenario I have them trading for Aaron Rodgers, and instead, well, I have them trading from Aaron Rodgers. So it might not be picking in this spot, but even then, I have them selecting. With that being said, I don't have a quarterback in this spot right here. I do have them picking the edge rusher to replace Von Miller. Uh, George Karlofskis out of Purdue, um, one of the top sack leaders this past season, um, as well as Will Anderson Jr., Aiden Hutchinson, guys like that. Had Purdue playing good, man. Led them to a bowl game. The defense was stellar this past season. But yeah, man, I have George Koloskis out of Purdue going number nine to the Denver Broncos. Number 10, I have the Jets back on the board. And lucky Jets. Haven't said it in a long time. But yes, the guy who I normally select for them still falls to them, but somehow at number 10, I have them selecting Kyle Hamilton, safety out of Notre Dame. Safety out of Notre Dame, long range kids who can cover your best receiver, also can be their free range safety, come down in the box, make tackles, just all around great safety, man. The Jets would be love to replace Marcus May with him. Will make it that decision 10 times easier. Um, yeah, man. Kyle Hamilton is that pick for me. Um, with the number 11 pick, I had the Washington Commanders. Yes, I said the Washington Commanders, not the football team anymore, the Redskins, the Washington Commanders. And why not get them Malik Willis, out of quarterback out of Liberty, guy who could be their Doug Williams, hopefully in the future. Who can bring a Super Bowl back to Washington. A guy who they can go ahead and thrust into the lineup. I know some say he's not ready, but with weapons like uh, Terry McLaurin, and Curtis Samuel, and Antonio Gibson, and the offensive line who stated improving a Super Bowl caliber defense. You never know what happens. But yeah, Malik Willis, quarterback out of Liberty. This is like a great fit. He's a playmaker with his legs as well as his arm. He definitely was deserving of this pick at 11. Um, at number 12, I have the Minnesota Vikings selecting Ahmad Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati, who's actually my top corner on the board. He out of all the film I watched on these corners, he has the best film, including Dick Stingley, including Andrew Booth Jr., including Trent McDuffie. But yeah, man, Sauce didn't get thrown to this side didn't get thrown to very often, obviously because he's a great corner. Um, Long kid fits that, you know what I'm saying, new school NFL style. Hopefully they can bring back Patrick Peterson on that defense at corner to guide him along and be that mentor for him. So yeah, man, Ahmad Gardner, cornerback out of Cincinnati, is that pick. Uh, Number 13 overall pick. I have the Cleveland Browns selecting another pick where the guy went to school in state, Garrett Wilson, um, out of Ohio State. Um, Playmaker, receiver, a very explosive. Not the biggest kid in the world, but definitely a great route runner. Could take the top off the defense, get the intermediate stuff, and take it the distance. Jared Wilson, it just seemed like he the perfect fit, the perfect guy to replace OBJ, and then one day replacing Jarvis Landry um, for the Browns, a guy that Baker Mayfield can get the ball out to, or whoever's playing quarterback for them. I'm not sure what they're going to do just yet. Um, but yeah, man, Garrett Wilson is that guy for me. Um, this guy, I'm drafting next. Did not go to, did not play at Maryland, but he did play with their new play for a new defensive coordinator up there in Baltimore. Played at Michigan. David Ajabo got the biggest upside out of all pass rushers in this draft. Um, just started playing football, but yeah, has so much potential. And with the Ravens, you know, they're already having a pretty good defense, stars all over the field, like um, Calais Campbell, Jason Owe, who they drafted last season, um, as well as Marcus Peter at corner. Um, Marlon Humphreys at corner. Yeah, man, would be would be great for that defense once he does live up to their potential. Number 15, I have the Philadelphia Eagles taking a much needed linebacker, Devin Lloyd, sideline to sideline linebacker out of Utah. Can play in coverage, can rush the passer, great run stuffer, is all around great defensive player. Can't wait to see him get in the league and wreak havoc for the Eagles. The Eagles, man, they've been decimated with injuries. Their linebacker haven't got great play for the guys who played for them these last couple of seasons. Man, just, they've been looking for seems like looking for a great linebacker since days of Jeremiah Trotter. It seems like, you know. But yeah, man, a lot of people probably say, "Hey, why not just a quarterback and play Jalen Hurts?" I like Jalen Hurts for that team, man. Him and Devontae Adams got a thing going on, it's the Bama thing. You feel me? But Devin Lloyd would definitely would be a great pick here. They have another pick here in a second at number 16. Back to back picks. I have them going with cornerback Andrew Booth Jr. out of Clemson. Um, a guy who has been one of the top corners the last couple of seasons. Um, Clemson kind of have a bit of a down year, but he was one of the guys who played exceptional for that team. Exceptional for that team this past season. Has earned his way up until the top half of the draft. Um, Next pick, I have the Los Angeles Chargers selecting Drake London, receiver at USC. It's just these picks go together. You know what I'm saying? Guy from USC going to playing LA for the Chargers. It just fits. Everything just works. You know, we got David Ajabo playing for his old defense coordinator. We got Aiden Hutchinson uh, playing in Detroit. Come on, man. And all of them are needs and probably wants. But man, let me explain this pick before I get too excited. Draft Drake London out of USC going to the Chargers because they don't know what they're going to do with Mike Williams at this point. He had a great season. Do they pay him? Do they not? They continue to go young and like draft a guy like Drake London. Even if they do bring back Mike Williams, I think they still draft Drake London only because Keenan Allen isn't getting any older. I think he might be in his 10th season now in the NFL. So he's probably going to be on the decline here soon. So in 2, 3 years, Drake London will be more than just a number three receiver. Probably maybe the number one. You never know. Or great number two to Mike Williams. So yeah, I have them drafting Drake London at 17. Number 18 pick, I have New Orleans Saints. Oh man, this pick, I honestly was one of my favorite picks in this whole draft. Uh, not even a Saints fan, but it just feels so right. A lot of people criticize him for his down the field accuracy, on which I think he's going to improve on once he gets in the league. Um, they say he's a lot like Johnny Manziel or Baker Mayfield. I don't see it. I think he's a little more mature than guys like that. I think he could definitely um, revive that city after losing uh, Drew Drew Brees a couple seasons ago. Um, Sean Payton this past season after he retired and stepped down from the team. It just need the whole coach change, man. As you can see, they say the receiver is their biggest need, but when you in a rebuild like this, losing your starting quarterback and your head coach back to back years, it's time for a coach change. And what way to do that? Drafting a quarterback. I have them drafting quarterback Matt Corral out of Ole Miss. I got. Let's go. Let's continue to connect these dots. Former uh, New Orleans quarterback Archie Manning went to Ole Miss. Um, Maybe he does with a number 10, like Archie Manning did. I mean, number 18, like Archie Manning did. But that'd be cool to see. But yeah, man, bring him back. Archie Manning is one of the storied quarterbacks in that Saints franchise. They haven't had the greatest history before Drew Brees got there, but guy like Archie Manning definitely was one of the better players back in the day when they were staying struggling to find their footing in the NFL. I definitely see a guy like Matt Corral helping that city liven up and getting that franchise back to where it once was under Drew Brees and Sean Payton. Um, a new head coach, Dennis Allen. Hmm, Yeah, new head coach Dennis Allen had to make sure before I said it wrong. Would definitely would love to have a guy like Matt Corral. With the number 19 pick, the Eagles are back on the board. I'm still not picking a quarterback, guys, for them. Still not picking quarterback. I have them drafting offensive line to protect their current quarterback, um, Kean Green out of Texas A&M. Um, play all over the offensive line, center, guard, tackle, whatever. But yeah, with a guy like Brandon Books retiring, it's definitely time to replace him and continue to protect Jalen Hurts. Um, Drafted two defensive guys. Time to look at the offense and and make the team a more balanced team. Not just one dimensional team. Get that run game going with Miles Sanders. Um, got a talent receiver in Devontae Smith, as well as uh, Jalen Ragar. That's how you say his name. If I'm saying it wrong, please comment on how to pronounce that name. With number 20th, the 20th pick, I have uh, the Pittsburgh Steelers going with the quarterback as well. Um, I have them going with Sam Howell, quarterback out of North Carolina. This pick was little easier than most quarterback picks this time. But yeah, man, it just looks like a Pittsburgh quarterback. He's been tough. Lost a lot of his talent to the NFL last year. Running back Javante Williams and Michael Carter, Demonte Brown, who was drafted by the Washington Commanders last season. Uh, yeah, man, stayed strong, stayed committed to the team. Didn't come out, came back for his senior season to get better. Some moving pieces, those moving pieces definitely hurt him. You could tell. But yeah, with Pittsburgh having Najee Harris, Chase Claypool, um, Deontay Johnson, possibly bringing back Juju Smith-Schuster, uh, I feel like he can come back to his 2020 form. So yeah, Sam Howell from North Carolina at 20, I think is a great pick for the New England Patriots. I'm gonna get Matt Jones some help at receiver. Looking for a great for number one receiver since they drafted him. They had Jacoby Myers, Nelson Aguilar. Um, I have them drafting um, Chris Olave, receiver out of Ohio State. Um, Great route runner, fast. Came back for the senior season. Came back even better. Um, it was about where I had him going last year. So it didn't really make a difference when he came out last year, this year. But he definitely improved. In my eyes, uh, had some competition this season with two other receivers that still put up 1,000 yards. Still had a great season. Still showed why he came back and was the right decision. Could go even earlier. He could take his running mate Garrett Wilson spot at 13. So we'll see how what I'm saying how he performed at the combine and all that. Um, at 22, I have the Oakland Raiders also picking a wide receiver as well. I have them going with Jamison Williams to replace Henry Ruggs, another speedy receiver out of Alabama. But yeah, Jamison Williams, the Ohio State guys, they're not wide receiver you Bama is, but I'll say that they're probably the second or third to go them LSU. But yeah, Jameson Williams at 22 to the Oakland Raiders seems like a great fit. Giving Derek Carr a downfield target. Exploded on the scene, Alabama since transferring to Ohio State. Had over 1,500 yards, over 10 receiving touchdowns, another I think 400 or 500 yards in return games. So it's all around guy who they could use in the return game as a deep threat for Derek Carr, man, who's definitely the number one receiver after losing Henry Ruggs. I know they try to replace him with Deshaun Jackson, but Deshaun Jackson is getting older, man. Probably gonna hang it up after a while. So Jamison Williams will be a great replacement for both those guys. At 22, I have the Arizona Cardinals getting a replacement for Patrick Peterson. They didn't get this past season. Um, and Florida cornerback Kyer Elam, um, who has a loads of potential. Might have fallen off a little bit this past season, but I think he has so much potential that what he did this past season would definitely want to affect his draft position. Um, Him being at the number one corner for Mid Carolina, for the Cardinals would definitely be great for that defense next season. Um, this pick for the Dallas Cowboys, makes so much sense to me. Uh, Bringing a guy to Dallas like Jordan Davis out of Georgia, big boy, um, who dominated the line of scrimmage, who is a big time run stuffer. Uh, could definitely add to that defense. It already has Michael Parsons, Jabril Cox, Demarcus Lawrence, Trayvon Diggs. Yeah, man, just complete that defense. They got the edge rushers. They got the run stoppers at the second level at linebacker. You have Trayvon Diggs, the ball hawk of the league. Um, Jordan Davis as a big time run stopper. Hopefully, he can you know develop some sort of a pass rush game. And hey, that Dallas defense will be scary next season. At number 25, I have the Buffalo Bills selecting uh, Tre'Davious White's running mate uh, and Trent McDuffie, cornerback out of Washington. It's just a big need for them. Uh, Outside of Tre'Davious White, they can't stop the other receiver on the other side. Uh, Levi Wallace is a free agent. Whether he comes back or not, they still need to bring competition to their position. And I think Trent McDuffie is the perfect cornerback for that system. Um, at 26, I have the Tennessee Titans selecting N'Kobe Dean. He finally gets drafted. Yes, linebacker N'Kobe Dean. He drops a little bit for you know what I'm saying for uh, most people like him, but I think him falling to Tennessee would be great for them. I know a lot of people probably wants me to draft a quarterback to replace Tannehill down the line. He's making too much money right now, and they're gonna continue to go with him. It's gonna be very hard to trade unless they trade this pick and other picks for a guy like Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or whatever like that. They're not gonna trade him in division to the Texans for Deshaun Watson. So the Kobe Dean it will be a great fit. They may be losing Harold Landry. He's a free agent this season, so why not draft his replacement? They already have Rashawn Evans, linebacker out of Alabama. So continue to bring on the SEC to the Tennessee squad, and make the playoffs again, and hopefully make the Super Bowl. Um, No, I'm not drafting Tom Brady's replacement with this pick. I'm going to actually give whoever's playing quarterback for the next season another weapon. They may be losing Chris Godwin, even if he do come back. Why not get a guy who's similar to Chris Godwin, just in case he gets hurt again? Jahan Dotson out of Penn State, same school, connecting dots. That's all we're doing. We're connecting dots, guys. But yeah, man, Jahan Dotson is your prototypical possession receiver, about 6 foot, 6'1", around 180, 200 pounds. Can run every route on a route tree. Can do a lot of things underneath. I'm not sure what they have Scotty Miller on their priority list or Tyler Johnson, but yeah, he can play the slot, he can put it outside, wherever you want to put him at. Him, Chris Godwin, hopefully, and Mike Evans would definitely be a great trio at receiver. Kyle Trask, or whoever they decide to bring in to replace Tom Brady, would be very happy with that trio. Traylon Burks, this is my favorite pick in the draft. Uh, Green Bay Packers. You get your number two receiver, and possibly your number one, if Devontae Adams don't come back, or follow not Andrew, Aaron Rodgers wherever he goes. Traylon Burks, big kid, can make the red zone catches, can run deep, can run the ball on reverses and sweeps and all of that. Can do the intermediate stuff. He might can do some things in the return game. We haven't seen it yet, but hey, he done did everything last season for Arkansas. Yeah, yes, this is the run for receivers because I got the Miami Dolphins selecting the receiver uh, as well. I have them selecting George Pickens, um, receiver out of Georgia. Had a great season last season. This past season wasn't so great. Had some instability at quarterback, despite their quarterback um, Stetson, ben- Stetson Bennett lead them to the playoffs and to the national championship. But because they're more of a run heavy team as well, uh, George Pickens definitely is one of the better receivers in this draft, and I think pairing him with Jalen Waddle would definitely show that, and can give two good receivers that he can trust. Um, I would love for him to fall to my Kansas City Chiefs as next pick, but in this draft there's no trading, so I'm going to give them an edge rusher that they need to replace Frank Cart, who since signing with um, uh, Kansas City has not lived up to the payment. Um, Melvin Ingram's played great, but um, he's definitely getting older. Um, been in the league multiple years now, so getting a guy like Trayvon Walker out of Georgia could definitely benefit them, and continue to add to that championship team um, from a couple seasons ago. Um let's give Joe Burrow some much needed protection. I'm gonna go with Trevor Penning, offensive tackle out of northern Iowa. A guy who can play guard starting out while they figure things out with Jackson Cartman out of Clemson, as well as Jonah Williams out of Alabama. Um, if if they decide to put him at guard, while those two guys play in the tackle positions, that's fine too. Or go ahead and start him at tackle, move Jonah Williams to tackle to right tackle. Would be fine too. But yeah, man, just giving Joe Burrow some protection. They should have lost the game against Tennessee. He got sacked 9 times. Um, the Chiefs ate up that offensive line, man. Especially Melvin Ingram, who I mentioned a few seconds ago, with 30th pick. Um, yeah, man, let's give Joe Burrow some must need protection. Um, Detroit Lions, I have them drafting a quarterback. Yes, I know last week I did say that Jared Goff isn't the problem. He isn't, but let's give him some competition. Get that fire back burning inside him. They should be much improved. Defense should help him a lot, but I feel like got to get a guy like Desmond Ritter could definitely light a fire underneath um, I just said Jared Goff, uh, and make him a much better quarterback. Um, next with the first pick of the second round, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting a guy who should have been drafted in the first round. Who was kind of it was kind of hard not to pick him in the first round. I know they said it didn't need any help on the D line, but it's kind of hard to pass up on a guy like DeMarvin Lillard. He has so much upside coming into the season. He was locked to go top 10. Um, didn't play as great. He may or may not come in at 300 pounds at the combine, but if he does, I feel like it's gonna be a nice lean 300, solid. Should test very well. A great pass rusher from the inside position. You already have Josh Allen, as well as Kayvon Chaston on the edge. So getting a guy like DeMarvin Lillard who can play all across the line, that especially at the three technique, would be great for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going back to Michigan, guys, for the Detroit Lions pick this time. This time we're going to go with a safety out of Michigan, Daxton Hill, man. Uh, some may say the best safety in this draft, behind the best safety behind Kyle Hamilton in this draft. Is a guy who can stop the run, can play the pass, can be that free range safety for the Lions who committed who allow a lot of passes deep this past season. So we'll see how that goes for him. Um, Next season, drafting a young guy like him. They already have Jeff Okuda at corner. So let's continue to build that defense up. You know what I'm saying? You got a guy like Aiden Hutchinson and that second overall pick. Now you bring in his teammate Daxton Hill. Should be great for him. Jackson, not Jacksonville, the New York Jets. I have them selecting a cornerback to go along with Kyle Hamilton, a safety. I have them going with Kyler Gordon, man. A very underrated corner. Didn't get much shine this year because of his teammate Trick McDuffie and the Washington Huskies, the team he played for. Wasn't very great, but he definitely balled out this past season. Um, could sneak up in the first round. We'll see how it goes, but I have him going 35 to the New York Jets. Let's get the New York Giants some pass rush, man. Um, I'm going to go with Majay Sanders, another guy from Cincinnati, who helped that defense um, along with Sauce Gardner, Kobe Bryant. Uh, fits that system perfectly, man. Reminds me a lot of like a uh, Jason Pierre-Paul, who played for those championship teams in New York, who beat Tom Brady of his only Super Bowl losses. But yeah, man, Jai Sanders is that guy, man. A real deal pass rusher off the edge, could definitely do some great things for New York next season. Um, with the next pick, I have the Houston Rockets, the Houston Texans taking a corner as well. Um, I have them drafting Auburn's Roger McCreary. Um, Big physical kid. If you looked at his tape, every time they tried him, he was ready. He was ready to knock the ball in the air, tackle the receiver if he made the catch. But yeah, man, between him and Sauce Gardner, I probably had the best tape in this past season out of all the corners. Isn't the biggest name out of Derek Stingley, Sauce, McDuffie, Elam, and Booth. But yeah, man, he did his thing this past season. Shut down some of the better receivers in the SEC this past season for Auburn. Uh, for the New York Jets, I have the first tight end off the board. He isn't my number one tight end. I have Jalen Watermeyer as my number one tight end. Uh, but I have them drafting tight end out of Colorado State. Trey McBride had a great Senior Bowl. Reminds me a lot of Rob Gronkowski. Um, big kid, big catch rates. Um, would be that red zone threat for whoever playing quarterback for them next season. I mean, for Zach Wilson next season. Um, with the third and ninth overall pick, I have the Bears continuing to build an offensive lineup for Justin Fields. A guy, um, a guy like with a guy like Zion Johnson, guard out of Boston College. Let's continue to protect their investment in Justin Fields. This with this pick, um, Justin Fields has so much upside. Um, can put the ball in the money. But yeah, man, Zion Johnson he could sneak into the first. Some people like him at tackle, but I think he would be a Pro Bowl guard as a rookie. Um, we got an edge rusher for the Broncos with the first overall pick, with their first round pick. Um, let's let's get them a offense lineman to protect whoever's playing quarterback next year for them, whether it's Drew Lock, Teddy Bridge, Teddy Bridgewater coming back, Aaron Rodgers, whoever. And then a guy. This is a guy who might get drafted before a guy we picked earlier, Trevor Penning, but I have him falling number to number 40, and but hard Rodman out of Central Michigan, big physical kid can play left or right tackle. Him and Garrett Bowles going to be a great one-two punch on the bookends for, like I mentioned, whoever plays quarterback for the next season. Um, Whoever play quarterback next season and invest in a team who will be very good next season. Has a great receiving core, have a good tight end, two good running backs with this pick, we'll have a great offensive line, defense who are steady rebuilding, but steadily getting better. Um, for the Seattle Seahawks, I have them also picking the offensive tackle. But I have them going with offensive tackle out of Minnesota, Daniel Fal Fal Falale. Um, like I mentioned before, I'm not pronouncing the name right. Please let me know in the comments. But yeah, man, just protect Wilson, man. Uh, their investment, Deontay Brown hasn't panned out. Why not draft his heir apparent? Let him play some right tackle until Deontay Brown retires. Let's keep the thing going with Russ, man. Let's not ruin his prime years. I have the Washington Commanders on the board at 42. I had them selecting a safety out of Penn State. Whenever draft board gets correct, uh, Jawan Brisker is the pick. As soon as it gets together, yeah, Jawan Brisker. He isn't the free range safety as you know, Daxton Hill and Kyle Hamilton, guys I picked earlier in the draft, but he can come down the line of scrimmage. Later would can play some coverage. But yeah, man, he reminds me a lot of Sean Taylor, guy who played for Washington years ago. God rest his soul. But yeah, man, big physical kid, the safety position. Who's going to wreak havoc on the league whenever he gets there. When he gets there next season. I had the Atlanta Falcons continue to build up that defense, man. I could go Carson Strong to eventually replace Matt Ryan, but it's not time yet. It's not time yet. But I do have them drafting one of the better edge rushers who quote unquote might have who fell um, due to his poor play this past season. Well, I'm gonna say his poor play, his lesser play. Coming into the season, he was definitely one of the higher rated edge rushers. But yeah, Drake Jackson out of USC, a uh, finesse rusher. Has a couple moves, but all of them are not really power moves. You got the swim, spin, all them, finesse type of moves. He had great hands. Hopefully, he continue to add to his body, get a a power rush move. Um, yeah, let's stick with edge rusher and go with Arnold and McKetty. I said it right. But yeah, man, Penn State edge rusher who's going to replace Javion Clowney on that defense. Continue to add to a defense who's very athletic, um, very young, and can definitely get after the quarterback as well as defend the pass. Great corners and Desmond Ward, Greedy Williams, the guy who drafted last season, Greg Newsome. Of course, you got Miles Garrett. Yeah, man, that defense is gonna be great. Um, it would definitely help out, with the struggling offense this this season. The Baltimore Ravens. Let's give Mark Jackson some O line help. I'm going to go with Darian Kennard out of Kentucky, who is listed right now as an interior offensive lineman, but when it's all said and done, he might be playing right tackle next season. They did lose Orlando Brown uh, via trade to the Kansas City Chiefs. Um, yeah, man. Derek Kennard can play guard, can play tackle. He played a lot of tackle this past season. Um, it might be a better fit at guard, but as of right now, they don't need him to play guard. I would love to see him play tackle for them until it's his time to switch. Um, Minnesota Vikings. What do they need? Um, I had them selecting um, uh, edge rusher. Um, they missed out on Quiddy Pay last season. Danielle Hunter is um, is getting older. Um, where is the guy? I'm going to go with Kingsley Agbari, a guy who's another guy who's very raw, similar to David Ajabo. But yeah, man, when he did get the quarterback, he was relentless. Did not let up on the quarterback. And those offensive linemen. Playing for South Carolina was not beneficial for him. Going for his career, made the best of it. Definitely was one of the better players on that for them this past season. With the 47 overall pick, let's go with another Carson at quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Consider a year or two behind the other Carson Wentz. Uh, Carson Strong out of Nevada, one of the top quarterbacks in this year's draft, can sit behind Carson Wentz and learn from him, and be that get that mentorship from him. They had a great season this past season. Um, they somehow didn't make the playoffs, but they were so close, man. They have so many weapons. They have Jonathan Taylor. They have Michael Pittman. They have aging T.Y. Hilton. The offensive lineman is great there with Ryan Kelly and uh, what's my guy? Quentin Nelson on the offensive line. So he's going to a great situation where he doesn't have to play right away. But when he does get ready to play, that team will be even better with him. Let's go back to edge rusher. I have the San Diego Chargers. Crap. The Los Angeles Chargers taking guy from San Diego State, Cameron Thomas. A lot of people call him um, the Aiden Hudson of the Mountain West. Um, I see him as a great pass rusher. Can definitely run stop a little better, but he's definitely will come off the ball. Great great high motor. With a sack leader from this past season. So yeah, man, edge rusher Cameron Thomas out of San Diego State. For the Saints, I have them drafting a receiver. Um, I have them drafting a receiver. Where is he? Uh, Wandale Robinson. Uh, I wanted to draft a receiver for them all along. I didn't know which one. Uh, he could go late in the draft, but I feel like giving a guy like Matt Corral, Wandale Robinson could definitely be beneficial. Very speedy guy. If they bring back Michael Thomas, not sure what's the situation with him. Um, Now that under new coaching, maybe he does come back and be that guy for them again. And a guy like Wandale Robinson would definitely benefit playing for a guy like him, who's a bigger guy, position receiver, and Wandale can just be that fast down the field target, similar to like Ted Ginn did for them years ago. Um, let's continue to build that Miami offense. Um, and go with a running back this time around and go with Kenneth Walker the third, T Dub 3 out of Michigan State. Big physical running back. Was up for the Heisman this season, man. Had a bunch of yards. Did his thing for Michigan State. Um, continue to add to that Philadelphia defense. I'm going to go with Jermaine Johnson, edge rusher out of Florida State. Could sneak his way into the first round. Has fallen a lot, but I think this pick um, is a perfect fit for him. Going to the Eagles, um, to pair him with Devin Lloyd, as well as Andrew Booth Jr. I picked in the first round, and they already have Brandon Graham, who they can learn a lot from, a veteran in this league. Um, Derek, Derek Barnett might not come back, so he could replace him. Um, I have Pittsburgh Steelers at 52, drafting an offensive lineman to protect their new investment in Sam Howell. I have them going with Nicholas Petit Fier out of Ohio State, one of the better offensive linemen in this draft. Could go a little sooner, um, depending on how the teams view him. But I feel like he would be a great offensive tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 53, I have the Las Vegas Raiders going with cornerback um, Martin Emerson out of Mississippi State. Um, the Zone King, uh, probably the best zone corner in all of college football. Could learn to play a little more man, but luckily he going to a zone heavy team, and the Raiders, so it'll be a great fit for both sides. Next pick, it just seems like a New York style, New England style pick. Of course, a guy from Alabama, uh, Christian Harris, reminds me a lot of Dante Hightower. Could be the next Dante Hightower, who's getting a little older, who's probably retiring here pretty soon. Um, could stop the run. Was a great pass rusher. Um, who's a great pass rusher. Um, from the middle. Um, let's see. The I have the Arizona Cardinals selecting a running back, Isaiah Spiller. Uh, okay, yeah, Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M. Um, had a someone said down year, but I still think he had a solid season. Coming to the season, he was looking like a first round pick, so get him later in the second round would be great for them. Um, Actually, for the Dallas Cowboys, I don't have them picking uh, KaRon Williams. I don't know why uh, it picked him on accident, but I do have them picking Jalen Watermeyer from ex Texas A&M, completing that offense, man. That's what it's all about, man. You have Dak, you have um, Ezekiel Elliott, Coop, Amari Cooper, C.D. Lamb, Michael Gallup. Giving them a tight end like Jalen Watermeyer could complete the offense. Dalton Schultz has played great for them, but I think Jalen being younger could be a little better for them. At 57, I have the um, Falcons who's back on the board. I have them drafting a local kid as well, and uh, Deontay Wyatt. Um, Deontay Wyatt, one of the leaders of that Georgia defense, uh, next to Jordan Davis. Um, I actually skipped the pick. Sorry, guys. I had at 57. I had John Mechie going with um, Stephon Diggs for the Buffalo Bills. Um, is your prototypical, um, possession receiver will put up 80 to 100 catches whenever he does reach the league next season. Coming off injury, he should be fine when he comes back. Praying for a speedy recovery for him. Um, yeah, man, it'll be hopefully one of the steals of the draft this season. Um, at 59, I have the Green Bay Packers selecting Perian Winfrey out of defensive tackle out of Oklahoma. They missed out on Wyatt. He went to Atlanta this the past pick, but uh, Winfrey is definitely uh, a great pick uh, replacement for him. At number 60, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting um, a pass rusher uh, and Logan Hall. Um, Great pass rusher who could replace Jason Pierre-Paul when he wants to retire. As of right now, they have William Ghosts on the other side. Maybe he could, uh, give him a breather. Um, you know, make him more of a situational pass rusher, starting out, and then once he developed, he could replace Pierre-Paul, like I just mentioned. Cornerback, I have I have the San Francisco 49ers going with a corner and Darion Kendrick, a guy who originally played for Clemson, uh, should be one of the better corners next season because he has a lot of potential. Fell out with Clemson, ended up at Georgia past season, which was great for him. He won a national championship, so um, he was a first round pick while he was at Clemson, but due to other people, other corners developing, and his falling out with Clemson definitely hurt his draft stock. Um, so him falling into a playoff team like the 49ers could definitely could benefit his career. The Cincinnati Bengals. Uh, Another tight end comes on the board. Like I mentioned before, like for Dallas, I have them completing the offense. They have Joe Mixon, the running back. They have, of course, Jamar Chase, a receiver. They have T. Higgins, another receiver. Tyler Boyd. Offensive line, I have them steadily improving. Um, oh no, I got ahead of myself. I have the Kansas City Chiefs actually selecting a receiver here. Sorry, it's 62. I have them going with David Bell, a big receiver out of Purdue. They don't have had a big receiver in Kansas City that could stretch the field as well as be a red zone target since the days of like Dwayne Bowe. Um, they've tried some things in the past with a few receivers, but hasn't worked out just yet. So combining him with Tyreek Hill, um, Nicole Hartman, and of course as well as Travis Kelsey could give them the best receiving core in the league. Like I mentioned before, the Bengals grabbing a tight end here at 63. I have them going with Isaiah Likely, a guy who competed very well at the Senior Bowl. Um, Out of Coastal Carolina. He didn't play against the best competition, but he, out of all the receiving tight ends in this draft, is probably the most polished. As a route runner, has great hands, great size, and then to close out the draft, I have the Denver Broncos um, selecting uh, Chad Mama Muma. I'm not sure how to say his last name, but yeah, man, out of Wyoming, uh, would definitely be a great linebacker for the Denver Broncos next season. But yes, man, that was my 2022 two round mock draft, As you can see, I will definitely upload it here in a second um, for you guys to go back and look at it. Sorry, I didn't have my screen share on earlier. But yeah, man, we can y'all can go through and judge how I did. Um, Thank y'all for watching this week's episode of Sports Talk with KC. I'll see you guys next week here live again at 8 o'clock. Love y'all. Peace.